lots and lots of questions from people. How is this coronavirus going to affect the housing market? Is there going to be another crash and all of that? It seems like a lot of people are really concerned about the real estate market. Also hearing a lot of feedback from agents that they're talking to buyers that say they're going to wait because they think there's going to be a big market crash, or maybe houses are going to go for less money. So we're hearing that so often. So I really, really wanted to address that and go over some stuff that we're implementing in our company here. I'm also a real estate coach, so I do work with agents from all over the country to kind of talk about these kind of issues when they come up, and just wanted to share with you what we've come up with in our team. So let me kind of show you some examples of how we've been handling this. So like I said, there's tons and tons of articles out there. Everyone is so afraid that, as the recession fears, what's going to happen. So we've done tons of research on trying to find out, what is expected to happen. Just because there was a stock market crash for a week or two, we're already starting to see today the market has gone back up. The stocks that my husband and I invested to over the last 2 weeks have definitely already made a return. So you kind of want to take into account, I call this is the noise. This is what the media is putting out there. It's what the news is putting out there. It's on all the websites. It's all on social media. But what's actually happening and how it's going to affect you and your life and your business. So let me give you an idea here. Here's the kind of PowerPoint I put together. So what is so important on everyone's mind, like I said, is how is this coronavirus, is it going to crash the real estate market? So first of all, I kind of want to start with what we're hearing from our other realtors across the country and also here locally in our office. They're saying that buyers are deciding to wait. I'm not going to buy right now. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Well, the big problem there is they could also be missing out on a huge opportunity. So while others are contracting and making, they're afraid and fearful and they don't want to make a big decision, a new purchase right now, it's actually the time that you should be acting. It's the time that you should take advantage of those kind of situations when other people aren't. Same thing with the stock market. They always tell you, you want to buy low and sell high. You don't want to do the opposite. So a lot of people get scared. What's the first thing they do? They see their 401ks, they see the stock market, they get worried, they contract. They immediately start selling things off at a low price just to get their initial money back out, and they end up taking a loss. So it's really not the time to do that. Do not freak out, do not panic. And we also see it a lot of the grocery stores. So people are freaking out and they're going to the grocery store and buying up all these supplies. And the reason that it's actually causing the fact that people can't get items is because other people are in fear and they're overbuying and getting an overstock supply in their homes that they probably will use over the next 5 years. And it's causing a lot of problems and chaos for other people. I also have seen, I wanted to show this too, on auction.com and hubzu.com, all of these auction type websites, there's really great opportunities happening right now. We had a customer of ours that placed a bid on a home that was priced really, really well, and they were the only bidder. Does that mean that this house had something wrong with it? Absolutely not. I think it was probably a $500,000 house that they got for $315,000 last week. So I just want to kind of give you an idea that there's tons and tons of opportunities. So when other people aren't reacting, it's really the time that you want to look at this. So I want to show an example here. Here's 2 other houses that are on the market. I took the screenshot today. They have 22 hours left, 23 hours left, and there's only 1 bid on each one. So like I said, there's huge opportunities out there. Of course, we'd like to go to our uber successful friends out there. So Mr. Warren Buffett is someone that I follow a lot. And he always says, be careful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So that would definitely be a time like now that people are really nervous and afraid, of something changing in the marketplace, that they're retracting and not doing anything. It makes for huge opportunities for other people. So another thing just to think about, how do you look at the world? What's your perception? What's your perspective? Are you more of a half glass full, half glass empty? How do you look at these certain situations? So I think I've had to do a lot of coaching this week just to keep people's spirits up. They're feeling nervous, they're feeling anxious, they're just fearful, and they're not really sure what's going to happen one way or the other, and they're not really doing anything. And then you see other people that are taking it as a huge opportunity. I have friends of mine that are nurses that rather than going home are actually flying to New York to help out, to see what they can do. There's big companies, big manufacturers. The Pillow Guy is closing down their factories to start building masks and start creating things and helping out with ventilators. So some people kind of look back and think when there's something scary, they're just going to stay home and hide in their bedroom, or they can actually, do something that's going to really make a difference and help out there. So it's really, I think, all comes down to what your perception is. So I've done a lot of research. I've been reading all kinds of articles, kind of keeping up with what other people are saying. What are they thinking? What are the top economic people saying? And I found this really fantastic article. So he said, in fact, the housing market may actually aid the economy in recovering from a next recession, a role it has traditionally played in previous economic recoveries. And I did a bunch of research too on what happened in the last kind of downturns when there was these kind of issues. I mean, did things close up? Did things get better? You know, what happened? So I've been doing a lot of research there. But I've been able to find that actually home price appreciation has continued during previous downturns. So just because there's some problems in the stock market, sometimes that leads people to pull their money out and to buy real estate. You know, takes them from going from one resource to another. So it's really hard to determine how those two things are really going to relate. The outbreak is also making it harder for Chinese investors to buy US real estate. So cash investors from China have been dumping money into our economy for a very long time, and they own most of our big cities. Most of our big areas are all owned by outside Chinese investors. So now those buyers are out of the market. Could be a really fantastic opportunity for a local buyer looking to buy a home or an investment property. There's also not as many buyers in the market, so that's going to allow for better deals, like the story I told you about on the auction.com website. It was really, really cool to watch that happen. So looking at kind of past downturns, the last recession really happened because of the real estate market. So it wasn't the other way around. Instead of us looking at, you know, because of certain situations affecting the real estate market, it actually, the real estate market is what we want to keep really strong because that does make a difference on our entire economy. So one way that you can do that as a homeowner is make sure you're paying your mortgage. I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, well, they're allowing us a deferment so that we don't have to pay it. Well, know that you still have to make that payment later. So you don't want all of a sudden to get a big bill that says, oh, by the way, you owe us $20,000 in your last 8 months of non-payment. So you really don't want to put yourself in that situation either. If you're able to make your payment, because I think that's going to be the biggest deterrent of what's going to happen with our real estate market. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of those opportunities for people who don't do that. Not to say that's the majority. I still think that's going to be the exception, not the rule. Some people aren't going to pay, and then they eventually might be losing their homes 8 months from now. But I don't think that's going to affect us as a whole. Some causes from last time, they were largely driven by mortgage lending and homeowners being over leveraged. So there's been a lot of things that have been put into place to protect us since our last market crash we had about 12 years ago, so that they're not lending money to people that can't afford it. They actually in the past weren't even requiring any documentation of income. So someone could say, oh, I make $300,000 a year and I can afford $1 million home, when obviously that wasn't the case. They weren't able to do that. So some things have been put into place so that that can't happen again. Same thing with appraisers. There's a lot of things that had to be put into place because how were the appraisals up that high when they really didn't make sense for them to be that high? And mortgagors were basically over leveraging. So they were pulling money out of the house, or they basically ended up where they had no home equity at all. They got zero down payments, or they were able to take the money back out of the house. So they actually didn't own anything of the property. So it made it much easier for those people to walk away. So we've put all kinds of things in place in the mortgage industry to really help prevent that from happening like before. And I'd like to think we have learned from our mistakes in the past. And I know a lot of those mortgage products are not even available anymore. But also starting to look at things as a new opportunity. So those of you out there who are realtors, obviously I'm in the real estate market, so a lot of my friends online are going to be realtors. Look at this as a new opportunity for buyers and for sellers. I kind of feel like this is going to be the new way that we do business all around. If we can virtually meet buyers, virtually meet sellers, you know, we might be able to meet 10 to 20 people in one day, where before maybe it's 1 or 2 because it takes so much time to show houses and to do all those things we have to do in the car and all the time that that takes. This might be a huge new opportunity and change the way we do business forever. I think there's a lot of different industries like that. My husband had a sleep study done, and they did it through telemedicine. So he sat there with the doctor. We never had to leave the house. We never had to sit in the waiting room. We didn't have to, you know, take up half of our day on an appointment. We literally met the lady, talked to her through the computer for 20 minutes, and got the script, was able to move forward. So it's really a cool opportunity, and I think it's going to change for a lot of industries. So you can actually have someone through Zoom. So we're doing a ton of these trainings right now. I probably have 10 to 15 Zoom calls scheduled per week. It's how I'm meeting my coaching students all over the country. It's how I've been talking to my team locally here in Bradenton, Florida. And it's also how I've been talking to other agents all across the country. So now is really the time to, you know, communicate more, not communicate less. So we're honestly doing back-to-back Zoom calls all day, every day. So our schedules have been really, really busy, but it's opening up communication outside of my local area. So it's been really beneficial for us. Another thing you can do online with a buyer, you can go through a presentation, tell them how the process works, tell them what your marketing plan is, tell them what you can do for them. Why does a buyer need a buyer's agent? I think all of that's really valuable. How do buyer's agents get paid? You know, all of that is all the questions a buyer would want to know. It gives you an opportunity to go through that. You can also get them pre-approved right online. They can start uploading their documentation right online. So I think agents kind of forget that we have all this access now to technology. All these things are online today. So for example, I have my, my lender, everything he does is right online as well. So I can actually take my customer virtually, bring them to a web page just like I'm doing right now, have them fill out an online application. Takes just a few minutes. They can fill in all their contact info here, submit everything, and then start to upload their documentation, because all this takes time. So while people are home and they have the time, it might be a really great opportunity for them to start going through that pre-approval process. Not to mention all of our documents are now online. So all of our agreements that we already have, any offers a customer wants to make, if you're trying to get a listing agreement signed, all of those contracts are all online. So now that people are home, you have the opportunity to fill in their information here, right through all of the terms of the contract, and email it to them to sign digitally. So all of these things really have made our jobs easier, but it's also making our lives easier during this time. It doesn't mean that you need to stop working. It means it gives you an opportunity to just change the way you're doing business, and you might end up keeping it this way. I think people are going to like it. You can also set up virtual showings. So there's all kinds of other software out there. I'm sure you guys have heard of Google Earth or used this before. So let's say a buyer wants to look at a neighborhood. You can literally zoom into a neighborhood and take a look right from there. Another software program that we use, you have a little, map version of where things are, and you can go through, what houses have sold recently and kind of get some pricing of what houses are selling for. So all of this is really valuable information. You can pull up a street view and look at the house directly. So all of these tools, I think we just forget about and we don't take full advantage of. But you could be on the phone or on your computer with a client and walk them through street by street and show them what these things look like and what homes have sold for and in what areas. So all of this information, like I said, is available now, and I bet you we're not even using it to its full capacity. And then they see something that they like. There's also some other software that we can put together to schedule online tours, do video tours, video walkthroughs of homes. So all of our customers that have their house actively listed on the market, we're doing that for them right now. So don't think that it's just a change, a shift, kind of a pivot in the way that we're doing business, but it doesn't mean that it's going to stop the way that we're doing business. So let's go back here. So that's mostly for buyers, and they are able to make online offers right now. Now for sellers, you can do the same thing. Any home seller, you can actually meet virtually through Zoom or a meeting like this. You can give them a presentation. What do you do to market their home? How do you get their home sold faster and for top dollar? You can walk them through that process on the computer. Send them, again, the paperwork, contracts they need to sign. They can sign all that digitally from home. We also have safe certified home photographers. So we've put together a list of items that are going to make sure that any photographer comes in their house, they're coming through with the proper equipment on, they're wearing their mask, we have booties, the hand sanitizer, all of those things to make sure that photographers are not endangering themselves, and they're also not bringing any contaminants into the home. And you can do all kinds of marketing video tours. So all this stuff is pretty much been available to us for quite a while, but I think that we don't use it to its full capacity. But now with this new shift, I think we're definitely going to. So I can really see a change already in the way that we're doing business here locally. And I wanted to share it with all my other agent friends out there, and also just reassure anybody right now that we're feeling very confident and comfortable in the market and what's going to happen. And as long as people, one, are not stopping to pay their mortgage, you can tell all your loved ones, friends, and family. I think that would be the thing that would really hurt everybody, because you don't want to end up where now you owe a lot of money 6-7 months down the road. So just hang in there, have confidence, stay strong. And like I said, you just want to make sure that you're looking at things from a positive perspective, looking at things with the glass half full versus empty. Thanks so much, guys. Stay safe out there. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got tons and tons of value from that. So we're creating new videos every single day with real estate information and really relevant content that we know is going to help you in your real estate business. So please make sure to subscribe below and also click the bell button so that you're notified every single time that we have a new video that we share. Thanks, guys.